to the house, the one they talking about, word of mouth. The boxing playhouse, without a doubt. All the latest and greatest boxing news, that's what it's all about.
Welcome. This is SAKURA A, and I'm with EMELIO Santana. And of course, this is After Dark. And you know what? Tonight it is an amazing night because we will be giving Spence versus Crawford predictions. I mean, what do you think?
Wow, this is an exciting week right here. So I'm very excited. Can't wait to get into it. Yo, this is the week right here.
I feel you on every level. You're talking my language right now. What I'm saying to you is that I just can't express how fun and how exciting this entire situation is for me, because I have been waiting for this fight for years. We are finally about to figure out who is the king of welterweights for this era. Not Mayweather and Pacquiao era, not Four Kings era, not Oscar De La Hoya versus Shane Mosley era. We're talking about right effing now. We're going to find out who is actually the king of the crop.
Definitely.
The king of the hill. Yes, you know, I gotta do my Sinatra quotes, but I just feel like this is a situation where it's not just undisputed. And I know a lot of people are trying to like compare Spence versus Crawford to, you know, the classics. I mean, even the boxers themselves. I heard Errol.Spence today saying, you know, it's going to be a classic like that. Well, we don't know for sure if it's going to be a classic like, you know, Tommy Hearns and Ray Leonard put on. We don't know that yet. But what we do know is that this is to distinguish who is the better man.
Supremacy.
Yes, for supremacy. And also, if it's Bud Crawford, then that means possibly a pound for pound number one status.
Definitely.
So tell me a little bit about how you feel about what's coming up this weekend for us with this fight.
Well, I'm very excited because the welterweight division has been like one of my favorite division, you know, as a kid growing up. I followed the welterweight division, like you said, with the Four Kings, Leonard Hearns, Duran, and Hagler. Some say they needed to add Benitez to it, make it 5 kings. But this is a historic era, man, with a lot of tradition and legendary fighters. So these two guys, two undefeated champions in their prime in the 4-belt era. Hearns and Leonard fought for 2 belts, the WBA, WBC, but now we got 4 belts on the line, more at stake. So I'm very hyped for this fight, you know, out in Vegas, you know, a lot of tensions flying out there, man, a lot of big money on the line. So this is a very exciting weekend, man, for boxing.
Okay, well, you know what? We're going to have a lot of predictions later on in the show. But first, we have got to do a recap.
Okay.
You know what the recap is going to be, of course. We're talking Kambosos versus Max. That's not, you laughing because you thought I was going to say the monster anyway. But first, we've got to do Kambosos. We'll go in the order of the fights. Is there anything you have to say about this fight with him and Maxwell? Who was the better man in there?
Man,
the scores.
It's been kind of controversial about that one right there. It was close. True. It was close. You know, I expected a little bit more out of Kambosos being a former undisputed champion. I expected him to really showcase, you know, he was headlining this card here.
Yeah.
So I expected more out of Kambosos. You know, I don't know if the layoff or the inactivity, you know, played a toll on him, but it was kind of a lackluster performance, and some say, you know, some felt like he lost the fight. So I don't know.
Well, guess what? He lost that damn fight. He lost that damn fight. That's all I have to say. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the confusion is. I mean, how anyone could even dispute it. I mean, it was a shutout.
Right.
It was a shutout. And for those scores to come out like they did, I don't want to spend too much time on it, you know, because we have other more exciting situations to deal with. But shout out to Maxwell. is it Maxwell or Maxie? Whatever. I feel like he's the better man out of those two opponents, and I do pray that he's getting those type of phone calls he wants, you know, to have.
Do you want to see a rematch?
Yeah. I do. I feel like he does owe him a rematch. Kambosos does owe him a rematch if he's not able to secure a more, you know, lucrative fight.
Right.
Maxie. So yeah, that's what I think. Yeah, Kambosos got Maxie problems. That's what I feel.
Maxie problems.
Yes. And let's go ahead. Like I said, I don't even want to spend a lot of time on that. But you know, here we go with Inoue versus the monster. No, I'm sorry. Inoue was like versus the monster, but Inoue versus Cool Boy Steph. I mean, was the monster in the house in Japan this weekend? Well, Tuesday or not?
He woke me up early. Man, very impressed with the monster. Very, very impressed with the monster. You know, I didn't expect that fight. Fighting a undefeated young, you know, fighter like Fulton out of Philadelphia, I expected, you know, a decision. You know, I thought the monster was going to win a close, controversial decision in his hometown. I mean, in home country, Japan. But man, he shocked me. The fight that he did, man, it was like a master class. You know, this man used his jab, speed, distance, footwork.
Yeah.
I was highly impressed. I think the monster gained a lot of fans from this fight right here. And people are already pushing the man, want to see him in Tank fight. They're rushing him already. I'm like, man, let this man take his time and grow into, you know, these weight classes and see, you know, where he's going to go. You can't just throw him in, you know, with the big dog already, but he did look very impressive. I was very impressed with Inoue.
I know what you mean, but my thing is, I feel like Inoue just the superior situation, the superior, you know, I guess you could say talent, skills. I call them born given skills that some boxers have over other opponents. Like no matter how much boxing skills Fulton knew, and we know he's a slick boxer, it's not much you can do when somebody's, you know, quicker, faster, more expedient, more powerful than you are.
Right.
And Fulton tried several tricks to try to get, you know, something going as far as momentum for himself.
Definitely.
But he wasn't able to get anything, you know, really significant to happen throughout the fight. I mean, he started in the first round where he was trying to do like a nice couple of feints.
Right.
In the exchanges. Then he started trying to double jab a lot, you know. Then he was trying to do lateral movement at one point. Like nothing was working that he was pulling out of his toolbox, because Cool Boy does have a couple of tools in his toolbox to go to.
Right.
It's not like he was fighting anybody, you know, that it wasn't, you know, that he couldn't deal with.
I felt like Inoue's jab, I think, kind of threw Schoolboy off. You know, he wouldn't palm with the jab. He had a nice power jab that was going from the stomach to the head, and I think Schoolboy was kind of surprised by the speed and the power and the boxing ability of Inoue. So
yeah, true. Sorry about that. I'm trying to like share the podcast to our different pages.
Yeah, sorry about that.
So anyway, shout out to our guests. Shout out to everybody that's out here waiting for us to start this Spence situation, or they're waiting for our special guest, because I think she's about to be in place. So definitely we're gonna what's the matter?
No, Tiff ready.
Okay, she gave me the go ahead that she was good. Let's see. I do have a comment here from Carl. Carl says, didn't Fulton cut weight for this fight? No, I don't think so. I feel like he's always been at 122. He's the established champion that came into the fight, and he lost his belts there. So it was for a junior featherweight, or was it featherweight? 122 is 122 pounds was the division.
Okay.
Mets. That's you have to be underneath that or exactly at that weight. So basically, it was Cool Boy's unified belts that were on the line. And Inoue took him.
Yeah, he did.
And on top of that, his next fight, he's going to go and attempt to get the other 2 titles so that he's undisputed at 122 pounds.
Right.
So, wow. I mean, that's pretty amazing when you just, Inoue is the one that, went up in weight, and that was his first outing at 102 pounds.
Very impressive. He didn't take no tune-ups. He went straight for the big dog. And, man, very impressed with him. He made a big fan out of me Tuesday morning. So
Carla's saying that he heard that he's like actually walk around weight of 150 pounds.
Anyway,
that's what he's saying he heard. I didn't hear that, really? But I mean, if it's possible because he does have a little more height than some of those guys at that.
I didn't think he walked around that heavy. I
with
thought
the
maybe,
little guys.
Yeah, I thought maybe 140, but wow, who knows? He might be some truth to that 150.
I mean, oh, wait a minute. He's saying no, Fulton.
Oh, Fulton.
Oh, well, his walk around weight, these boxers, their walk around rate can be whatever as long as they make weight. We do still have to look at the fact that Fulton, we have to keep just know in consideration that
weight though for a little dude like that.
Yeah, but the consideration is that he was out waiting longer than he anticipated to have this fight because Inoue had gotten hurt and needed time to heal up. So it was about 4 more months longer than he was supposed to wait for that fight. So yeah, all of these boxers, some of them, like majority of them, weigh at least, what would you say, 15 to 20 pounds more?
Yeah.
15 during they walk around weight. No, 15 to 20 pounds more than what they weigh in at. It's only like the super elite and highly disciplined fighters that's able to like stay in their weight range and still, make the weight easily and concentrate more on strategy.
Like a Floyd Mayweather.
Yes, like a Floyd. Money Mayweather always stayed on target for his weight. You know what? Just to think about it, I was going to say Shakur the other night. Now, he's in between fights and he doesn't have one scheduled. But him and Kambosos did get into it, and I was going to talk about that exchange. It was kind of fun to see those two really going at it. But Kambosos was trying to tell him, like, hey, you are trying to tell us about doing like 25%, taking 25%. He wanted Shakur to take the Haney fight for 25% of the revenue. And he's like, Shakur is like, what? Well, I feel like who is one fighter to tell another boxer their value? Like, Kambosos wouldn't like it if somebody told him what he should have got paid for that fight and that performance the other night. So, I mean, what do you think about these boxers that's trying to give advice to other boxers about how much they should weigh and et cetera, et cetera?
Yeah, it's a trip, man. It's new. I never used to hear fighters talk like that, but these day and times,
yes,
you hear all kind of things being said. So
I know. It's kind of hilarious to me. I'm like, who is he to tell somebody what they should weigh and what they should be? I don't get it.
Or you don't have as many followers. As I have.
Like all of that. It's just kind of simple to me. Like, stay in your lane. You handle what you think your value is, and I'll handle what I think my value is. I mean, giving 75% to Devin Haney, I don't see why that would be something that any boxer would want to do. Right. All right, so I think our guest is finally ready. We got the very beautiful and talented podcaster, Talk Your Ish, Tatiana joins us tonight. What's up, girl?
Hi.
What's up,
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
Great to see you tonight. You're looking beautiful.
Thank you. Only from the waist up. So
I hear you. Okay, so we're gonna imagine that you got your skimpies on underneath.
Yeah. No, they're just track pants, but still.
Yeah. Well, during COVID, we were all guilty. Okay, we was all like, "Let me put on this nice shirt."
I'm still making like it's COVID though.
Uh-oh. So tell us
Can
a
you
little
hear
bit
me
about
okay?
your show right quick.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yes. Tell
Okay,
us about your show right quick.
Okay, so Talk Your Ish, that's ISHH, is a podcast that was based out of going live at the Gentleman's Club, but I go live everywhere, doctor's office, hopefully a boxing event. I've gone everywhere you can think of, charity, anywhere that someone can sit and talk and promote. And it's basically just a banter back and forth, and to be able to, promote what you got going on. I do side more of a strong woman with her business and showing what she's doing. But I mean, hey, rappers are on there. We met at the Best Showcase.
Yeah.
Ooh, am I saying it right? With Seisha and Tito. So, I was just happy to have it on. I mean, I love something like a power couple. That's amazing. I'm just a nosy person, and that's really why I started.
Well, we can all be accused of something like that for sure.
Yeah.
Now, I was sitting here wondering exactly what's the number one thing that these sex industry type characters that you encounter in your talk show, like what's the number one thing that they complain about? Like what are they not happy about in their industry as females?
A lot of times when a male's in charge, specifically just because either they have a big ego and they think women, there's never a guy in charge that is like, oh, all for women. It's usually someone who thinks women are beneath them or are supposed to just be objects. And it's just not fair when they think this is all they do or this is all they have. A lot of women just choose to do it. I'm not saying they all do, but some of them actually choose. There's been lawyers and judges and police officers that have been undercover that you wouldn't know that they just needed to, I guess, get out or let loose or, I don't know, maybe feel like a piece of meat one time just because. I mean, so I always tell everybody, just do it one time and, you did it. It's like a bucket list. But that they're just, people will be in charge that shouldn't be in charge. Almost like they should go work at McDonald's because that's kind of how they're
Yeah, I mean, some men they think like the only skill they have is like, well, I'm a man and that's why I should be managing you or whatever.
Exactly. And I think that's totally wrong unless they've got up there and shook their ass in front of everybody. Sorry, can I say that? They've shaken something.
I might pay a couple of dollars to see that.
Yeah, I mean,
it's so rare.
Yeah, but unless they've done it, I kind of feel like if you haven't been in that position, I mean, you kind of really shouldn't be the one voicing it. Females have a lot of problems. Okay, we have a lot of excuses too, but you can't just always, oh, you could be ready in 10 minutes and this and that. No, it doesn't work like that. Wow. I didn't get ready in 10 minutes.
Yeah, for sure. Now, what's one thing that they like about the industry?
Oh, the money, the attention and the money. It's really nice when someone gives you attention and it helps if they're nice looking and they spoil you. It's not about the actual like dollar that you make, but I mean, when someone comes in and throws you 10 grand, I mean, and yeah, it just kind of, makes you feel a little good. That's all. Good ego rubber, I guess.
Tish, how big is the midget industry?
Okay, so they like to be called little people.
Yeah, like literally, that is like not what you're supposed to do.
Don't say the M word, you'll get kicked out. No, some of them, so I go back and forth. I have a lot of little people friends. Some of them don't care. They're like, you can call me a midget. That's what I am. Some of them, that's the N word. So you can't say it. It's the M word. Dancing wise, there are a lot. Just because during COVID, it was great. I mean, it's entertainment. Who doesn't want to see that? When you don't know about something, you want to see it. So whether I've heard a lot of people say they want to see handicapped people do more in the industry. And, that seems, yeah. I get this question all the time. So as you know, I walk with my walker. Technically, I guess I'm handicapped. I'm handy-capable. But me being handicapped, I get like the craziest things. People always ask me like almost like I'm this like pet at the zoo. They're like, how do you do this? And I'm like, the same way. You just put your legs around there and do what you got to do. I mean,
right.
I don't know. I'm not quite sure. I'm like, I've never seen normal people do anything. So I don't know.
So
maybe
it's more like a curious type thing.
Yeah, it's curiosity. I mean, and curiosity kills the cat. So
Right.
just know. But yeah, they get, I don't know. Just I guess when you see, maybe if you saw two like 400-pound people together, you're like, how do you do that? How does that go? You know, I want to know. So same with little people. They ask them the craziest questions, and you know, they're like, I don't know what to tell you. It's the same thing.
Wow. I totally get it. Now, I know you had some questions about boxing, because you're saying that you don't necessarily know a lot about boxing other than, you know, like the big fighters, like, you know, well, you know, Mayweather and Pacquiao just reigned what was it, a decade and a half worth of boxing, and now they've retired. So, you know, what anybody else that you knew in boxing?
I mean, was it Muhammad Ali? I mean, the old schoolers, just because I'm 41. So I grew up with the old schoolers. I know it was just TV, but that's how we grew up. I was going to comment. So you were commenting on the weight and how everybody's talking nowadays, and these guys are just talking. So I tell everybody, treat the world as a gentleman's club. And that's exactly what goes on. And that's what seems to be going on with the guys there. I mean, if you look at it, it's the same thing as maybe like a high school or like a strip club. It's all this unnecessary, just do your job, mind your own business. But they're seeming to be coming out and being more catty, which is very rare. I don't know if it's the internet that's making us see, and they were always catty and we just didn't know because they don't put that in the newspaper or you don't see that on an interview. But now the internet, you know, behind the scenes, didn't Jocelyn Hernandez just beat up some girl behind scenes at the Mayweather? I mean, I reported on that on 88.9 The Mix, because that's what I'm on 5 days a week. And I was just saying, I'm like, God, the fight was really behind stage. I mean, Jocelyn was tearing them up, and she is a gentleman's club favorite, and that's what she does with her show. So see, we bring it everywhere. I think
we were down there when that happened.
Did you see her?
We were in Miami, but
you weren't there though. You didn't see it.
We actually left that Sunday. We were at the weigh-in though, which was at the pool. You know, it was like at the park. What was it? The Fountain Blue. Yeah, Fountain Blue resort at the pool area is where they had the weigh-in, and it was a lot of the bad girls club people there. So I already knew what kind of atmosphere we were talking about, you know. Like they just looking at people randomly ready to throw down anyway. So
I think they're the baddies. The bad girls.
The baddies.
Yeah, hold on. The Bad Girls Club is a totally different brand. Natalie took it over.
same scenario.
Yeah,
I mean, I'll just put them in the same category. But I'm sorry, baddies. So they're part of that Zeus network. So I kind of like figured it was going to be something.
Yeah, because they put a bunch of Mayweather's fights on there. I seen.
Yes, it's exhibitions. Yeah,
but that looks fun.
I mean, it's just fun for him. Like you know, it's.
Oh, I'm sure to have a bunch of fighting girls around. I mean, why not?
His fun is making more money than he'll ever need in life, you know. Like that's fun for him. It's like, sure, I'll do that. I'll just make a couple of million here and
here the whole
million there. Yeah,
I don't even want to know that part.
Yeah,
they're out there, they're fighting. Like I said, the fight with the girls, to me was amazing, and to see Jocelyn come out. I mean, I've known of her for years. I didn't know her, but I've known of her and seen her and been around her when back in the day when she was just fighting when she was broke. And now to see her fighting when she's got money is just even funnier. So, yeah, I'm sure she made money. And if I was going to bet, I'd bet on her.
Oh, for sure. I mean, if you're going to bet on someone, bet on the one that's had the roughest upbringing and you know and childhood and really, you know, is about hustling in life and making sure that, you know, they always got bank. Because I've talked to a lot of people that come from those kind of harsh backgrounds and abject poverty and stuff, and they really are like, I'm scared to be broke.
Yeah. Oh,
You know, that's
absolutely.
like a super big fear of theirs.
You
Is
should
that they
see.
don't ever want to be
When I
there
yeah,
again.
when I see some of the girls, especially like Jocelyn, you could see the clawing to the top. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like I could see the clawing to the top. She makes sure that she's good and she's got a husband and whoever and one after another like a little train but I'm saying like she's all about what she needs to do, and again that's Talk Jewish podcast. What the
Right.
women have to do to get where they want to be. And I mean, I don't knock anybody for what they do. If you got to feed your offspring, you got to feed your offspring, and I respect that in any way, whether
Yeah.
whatever you're doing. If you could do it, you do it. I mean, like I said, either they're going hungry and you're just sitting there, or you're gonna use what you got to get what you want. Oh, Ronnie Ho quote.
Okay. I remember Ronnie. I want to know what she looks like now. I've got to see like is she like the same?
With no
But,
wig on. No, I think she looks beautiful. I think she was even more beautiful than what they made her out to be.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. I'm just wondering if she still has that youth look about her.
If everybody sees her and says the same line, people will get that one line.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh, and that's sad.
and then Diamond, of course,
yeah,
she's still gorgeous.
Yeah.
She's still
Oh
a
my
gorgeous
God.
woman. So I'm wondering if she still has that fountain of youth that Lisa has.
Yeah. I don't know.
Well,
She looked like she lived a rough life.
what was your questions about the boxing? You said you
Yeah.
that it's based on like hitting each other, but what else?
Yeah. Okay. So the rounds, that's what was my thing. The rounds. Does it go? How many? Is it like 15 seconds each round? How many rounds can it go?
It used to go
Like
15 rounds back
Okay.
in the 70s.
Yeah, I remember
then
that.
The championship rounds was 15 rounds, and then they started having a lot of injuries, some deaths in boxing, so they tried to make it more safer, and they brought the championship rounds down to 12.
Okay.
And it's 3 minutes a round.
Okay, like 12 is going to make a difference from 15.
Yeah, and then with the women, it's 2-minute rounds, and they normally go no higher than 10 rounds.
Okay, that's what. Yeah, like I swear, like I always think about that, and I'm like, well, how many rounds? Because when you're watching, I'm not a big counter when I'm watching. So, exactly. And then I'm like, why does this?
Women are about the numbers, right? We don't measure that well.
Yeah, no, I'm like, I can help with the weigh-in, but
No, yeah. But then it also depends on if they're a prospect or a contender that's just starting out, or whether they're in a championship level fight. So a championship fight for a title is 12 rounds.
Yeah.
But if you got someone that's just starting out, 1 or 2 fights in, that's a 4-round. They start out with 4 rounds. And
now
then
have you been in the ring?
who?
You.
Hell to the no. I am exclusively outside the ring looking. I'm watching all of the. I'm going to the gyms though. We do go to the gyms and check out boxers, but no, I'm not.
You've been inside when we had to get an award and put a ring together.
Right. When I'm getting my awards, I'll go in the ring.
I was just wondering.
When I'm hosting, interviewing.
Some interviews in the
ring.
But no celebrity fight.
Oh, I don't think I could, but I don't think I want to, but I could. Like, I'm sure I know enough skills now that I probably could put a couple of things together to make a combination of something.
Now, have you had a photo shoot yet where you are dressed up in the ring, maybe?
No, I haven't, and I need to do that, especially in order for me to get more commentating gigs. Or
because I would love to see that. I want to see your
interviews.
Yes.
Hey, Toddy, don't some of the clubs that you be in, don't they be having women boxing? Some of that sexy.
It's not boxing. It's Jello wrestling, but yeah.
Jello wrestling. Okay.
Okay.
Well, we got some boxing fans like our next guest. He's actually would love to have that. Probably he's a promoter out in Biloxi, Mississippi. And he loves a good Jello fight, I'm sure, with women. I don't know.
Please don't put the girls boxing in the club. That is not appropriate, and that's not going to end well.
I don't know exactly how his lady's gonna feel about him putting on a Jello shot, type competition for women, but he is a promoter. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the right one, the Right Hook Promotions promoter. The Hunter is what I call him.
Sorry, Shakira. I'm out here fishing tonight, I know that I know
what
Bud Crawford said he's gonna try to catch the big fish, and I've been out here for like 30 minutes, and I mean I haven't got lucky one time. Hey, but
you
the
can't
Jello,
catch
look,
me.
we can do the Jello stuff at the nightclub in the next 3 weeks if you want to. Give me the information, I'll set it up. Done.
Let's do it. And I also have the little
Just
people
like
that we could do.
Hey, I've already done them. Let's do it again. I'm dead serious. We just did Misfits boxing Saturday with all the influencers last Saturday in Nashville. Shakira set me up with all the information. Done. Hey, I hate
oh
to even say
wow.
it.
Yeah,
I
I
actually
get the
did 2
voluptuous.
handicapped people at the nightclub fighting.
All right, well, let's. I guess
Uh-oh.
I'm handicapped. I go for a little person. I mean, we could
You
just do
you
it all.
got the right one. Oh
I'm
yeah, and
for
then
I'm 4'8", so I'm really small.
Will,
I
you
don't know
got
how
some
I
good
can't get the
eyesight
Bud
with
smoking shirt in. What's the deal? There we go. Smoking on Bud.
Uh-oh, he got listen, are you telling us you giving us a subliminal message about who you're actually going to be predicting tonight?
I mean, I'm fishing. I got the smoking on Bud shirt. Nothing to do with weed. You know, some fish. It's gonna be ugly. It's gonna be ugly.
Oh wow. I
It's gonna
mean,
be nowhere near as beautiful as you two lovely young ladies are.
Oh, thank you. That'll get you.
thanks.
That'll get you nowhere. No, that'll get you.
I
nowhere.
probably won't, but hey,
No,
it's,
yes,
it's worth a shot.
yeah, it works.
No
Don't
fish
say the
though.
word
It's
shot
horrible.
because we'll think of Jello shots now. William
Hey,
Hunter, the promoter of
hey,
Jello fights.
we can do it. I'll send you the videos of the nightclub. You know, we do about 2,000 people on a Monday night. It's crazy.
What?
The Jello will work
On a
We'll do it.
Monday night.
on a
Wait,
Monday night.
I'm in Florida. Where are you at? I'll have to come.
We can do some there too. I do some events in Florida. I'm here in Biloxi, Mississippi, but we can move it between states, no problem.
I don't mind. Is someone gonna bring me out there?
But
Yeah, we'll figure that out.
All right, I'd love to come do the podcast. I would love to. I would love to.
Okay. And you have to send me a little bit more information, a few pictures of the girls, the Jello, however you do it. Have you done it before?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, definitely. Send me all the information on it. We'll definitely do it.
Yeah, absolutely. I just haven't gotten my hands dirty in it anymore because.
Well, you shouldn't have to. Let the girls get dirty.
Well, I'm tired of being the cat wrangler all the time. So to say.
Well, if I wasn't fresh off a triple bypass surgery, I'd be the cat wrangler, but that might blow my heart up. I can't do it.
Well, you look good for being fresh off the table.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, he's getting more and more handsome. I mean, this heart surgery might have been the best damn thing cooking.
Hey, you might be right, Shakira. You might be right.
It hit the reset button.
Yeah, I mean, I bounce back like that song, Bounce Back. I'm like Juvenile,
Wait,
He really is. He's scaring me with that. I told him, I'm like, you better listen. Don't be trying to move too fast for me.
Right.
Oh, no.
For your heart.
I had to slow everything down, or at least I had to play like I'm slow now. I'm actually getting pretty good at it.
Yeah.
Hey, Will, what time is it over there? It's still light over.
Yeah, man, it's an hour. I'm an hour behind y'all at 7:35.
Okay.
I just walked to the little lake here to try to catch some spence, but I didn't catch any spence. So, Bud's in for it. That's all I can say, brother.
Yes, and that brings us to our next segment, which is all about who you got. I mean, we're talking Spence versus Errol.Spence predictions. Tonight it's going down, and I want to hear William Hunter. We need to know who you got and how you have them winning.
I got Errol.Spence. Hands down. This is going to be a great fight. We're going to get 3 fights out of this fight. But this fight right here is number 1. It's going the distance. So bet UD12 Errol.Spence. Now, I'm not saying Crawford doesn't have a chance to win, but if he wins, he has to win by knockout. He is going up against Bud's going up against Errol.Spence in Vegas on a PBC show, on a Showtime pay-per-view. So it's him against all of those. And then he still has to deal with the PBC 3 judges and the referee. It's going to be a hard win. So bet the house on Errol.Spence. I don't buy $69 t-shirts like he has on from I've never done that before. $69.
You pay $69 for this t-shirt that Errol.Spence has on in this photo.
And I've never done that before. So that's gonna look, that shows how confident I am.
He's dedicated.
I'm dedicated. Look, and then
he had on? Like that's the one he physically had on, or
No, that's just like, that's the pro. He got on the prototype and
It's the
Hunter
promotional
went,
shirt for the tour for the fight. I've never bought one before, but I had to go on this one. I mean, he's got Bud rolled up in the shark mouth, smoking him, smoking on Bud.
Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah.
Well, I can say I'll make a prediction. I think Spence is gonna win only because Crawford is a little bit more handsome, and usually when you're pretty, you ain't gonna win.
Hey, are you married? Because I've been saying the same thing. I mean, not from like that point of view, but Crawford just looks like he stinks to me or something. I don't know. I could be wrong. Like, I don't know if that affects how you fight, but he just looks like he smells or something. I don't know. I can't explain it.
oh my goodness, you're terrible.
It has nothing to do with boxing. He just looks stinky. Like,
I mean, I feel
he looks like that roommate.
is,
He looks like that roommate. And when he goes to the gym, he comes in, he kicks his shoes off, and the whole house smells like feet. I don't like that.
Yep. And then he just puts something over the funk. I hate when they don't put anything over the funk, guys. Please.
Yeah.
Like a whole bath where you just wipe it on down or something, get some water in there, and then
Exactly. That makes a huge difference. I just get that. And not saying that helps you fight or anything, but it's just easier to like the more presentable fighter.
If you smell, it might help you fight, because if the other guy's constantly burning at the eyes and the nose, I mean.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that. It could be an advantage. I might have to change he might be stinky enough where I have to change my pick back to Bud. I don't know. Chemical warfare.
Errol got the dimples. I'm a sucker for a guy with dimples, even if it's just a little mark. Look, Emilio has like a little mark. Will got a little mark. I mean, I'm a sucker for the dimples, so that's an Errol. Errol has the cute dimples.
Hey, chemical warfare is against the Geneva Convention, though. I guess I don't know, but
I mean, those dimples work on women. You know that. Don't play us. Yeah, for sure.
All the dimples everywhere.
So I mean, we gave your pick, Shakira, on the record, since you're on the stream and all. Who do you think is going to win this fight?
I mean, me personally, I'm a Crawford fan, so I'll be going for Crawford. And I do still kind of love Errol too, so it's very close here.
All right, Emilio.
So I have to go with Bud.
All right, Emilio, who are you picking?
Well, I'm going with Bud by a close decision.
Are you look? Hey, look. Whenever we talk about doing a Jello boxing, remind me to remove both of them from my Christmas card mailing list.
Why?
Because they went with Bud.
Yeah. This predictions can get, it can get real tight and upsetting, because people start, they start taking it to heart.
Look, I like those guys.
Exactly.
I think this is definitely one of the biggest fights since, say, like Mayweather Pacquiao. We're gonna witness something amazing, win or lose. It's fun for everybody to, criticize each one of the fighters. But I think they're both going to show up that night, and they're going to give us their best of the best they could possibly give us.
Exactly. The fans are going to win.
Yeah. The only reason I like Spence, to be honest, I think it's a pretty even fight. But I think Spence has the advantage due to the fact he's a natural southpaw. He's the bigger fighter. And it's more of an adjustment, say, whenever Crawford switches southpaw with the orthodox fighter, it confuses that fighter. A southpaw is going to be way more comfortable with that happening. And I mean, I got to give Crawford credit. He brought Willie Monroe in. He brought Stevenson in, in his training camp. That's good work. Yeah, right. But Spence, I think he's going to show the world that he is the man, pound for pound. 147, he's the king of the division. I think he's going to do it.
Will, what do you think about Inoue, the monster, the other day? What do you think about him?
I feel so sorry for the fact that he's, to me right now, he's the number 2 pound for pound fighter behind Better Beat.
Okay.
But you can make an argument until Saturday night that he's the number 1 pound for pound fighter in the world right now. And he only gets recognition for 4 days, 5 days.
Right.
Just recognition. That's true.
It's a cruel
I'm
sport. You know, you do something amazing for 4
right.
days and then they forget about you.
Right.
Yeah, the timing wasn't right, and I feel really bad for the ladies because Friday is going to be Sanessa Estrada. She's fighting on the top
Yeah.
rank card, and it's like a true deal sucky week to be fighting. Period.
Well,
When you have a mega fight the same week,
exactly. There's actually some good boxing this week. There's her, and there's also I can't. Huh?
we
I'm
didn't say
sorry.
anything.
Oh, I thought I heard him say a name. I can't remember the other. There's one more fight that I was interested in. I can't remember either one of the names for some reason. So it's going to be a good weekend for boxing altogether. But it doesn't matter who fights. This fight right here is just totally overshadowing anything that could possibly happen in combat sports. Jake Paul could fight this weekend and nobody would watch it. Everybody is going to tune in to
Right.
Crawford and Spence.
Will, you think we're gonna get a trilogy?
We're definitely going to get a trilogy. Now,
Okay.
my bet is I'm going with Spence, but I'm also betting 500 on a draw. I think that the powers that be are going to play this one out and maximize the return on the investment. So we're going to get at least 2, possibly 3 fights out of this.
Yes.
And if you notice in the first negotiations, Crawford, he's the B side. He never wanted to accept the fact that he was the B side, and he capped himself on this fight at 10 million. I'm willing to bet this fight is going to generate $80 million. So if he would have just went off of the 30% cut from the original offer, he would have made about $25 million for this fight. He capped himself. Spence and Al Heyman are going to kill it.
Wow.
Yeah, I feel like not only that's the issue, but think about it. You got all these people that majority-wise, they're saying right now Crawford is going to win. Now, the betting odds, if that's the case, are going to be towards, you're going to make more money if you actually bet on
Spence.
So I got to know your odds on betting, and then we'll let you go, Will, because we know that you are the king of the gambling betting circuit. You know it all when it comes to betting on these fights.
But just because it's Bud against 5, it's not 1-on-1. Like I said, he's going against Spence. I mean, he's going against Spence. He's going to get the Athletic Commission in Vegas. He's going against PBC and Showtime, and he's the underdog. So he's the favorite in this fight. So if you bet on Spence, I guarantee you Al Heyman's money is on Spence. Everybody on the inside is betting on Spence because the return on investment is there. There's no way Spence loses this fight unless Bud knocks him out. That's my prediction. Bet on Spence and bet on the draw.
Will, you think we might get some Hagler Hearns type action?
Actually, I do. I think that we're going to see the Hagler Hearns. We're going to see the George Foreman, Ron Lyle. Ooh. We're going to see you're going to pull out all the stops. We're going to see a fight that was moved in time from the early 80s until today. It's going to be the first fight in a while where it doesn't matter if you're a boxing fan or not. You'll be like, damn, they just threw down.
Do you like the timing, or you felt like it should have happened a year or two ago, or was the timing right?
I think that Crawford messed up negotiations last time. I think he was in tax trouble or something, and that's why he had to fight before the end of the year. I know for a fact all of the numbers for the pay-per-view were inflated. They did not do 225,000 buys. He literally sold less than 3,000 buys. He is the B side. All of the money is coming from Spence and Heyman. And I think he screwed himself out of a lot of money prolonging the fight. This fight 6 months ago, way bigger than what it is. I mean, I'm saying it's big now, but they could have been on the rematch right now getting more money. I'll put it at you like that.
Right.
I think you're on to something when you talk about the draw. That's what I think.
Yeah, I mean, you can't have the Tyson Fury Wilder 2s and 3s. You got to have something. I'm willing to bet. UD invokes his rematch clause. The second fight is a draw, and then no telling on the third one. But we're gonna have 3 fights out of this, no doubt about it. We're talking Pacquiao Marquez.
You think we're gonna have 3 fights out of this?
Definitely, like Emilio said. Like Emilio said, we're having a trilogy, no doubt about it.
Well, would a rematch be at 154 possibly? 154 pounds?
It's possible. Neither one of them want to jump up into the Canelo or the Charlo territory. I think they're going to keep it at 47 as long as possible.
Wow.
Could happen, but the money's at 47 right now. They're not going to vacate. They're not going to do something stupid like Devin Haney and vacate and call out Regis Prograis. That's another ass whooping. Bet the house on that one, by the way. But we're in for some fireworks tonight. That's all I can say. Crawford is going to lose. UD 12. If not, bet on the draw.
All right, let's hear it from Will Hunter.
I'm going to get back to fishing and see if I can catch me a big fish. I might, if I catch a big fish, I'm going to change my pick. That's all I can say.
No, if you catch the big fish, then you bet more money on Spence than you initially were going to.
No, because Bud's the one trying to catch the fish. If I catch a fish, I gotta change my pick.
Oh, you gotta catch a crawfish if it's Spence.
Will, be careful. I heard there's UFOs over there. Be careful.
I'm ready. Well, I appreciate y'all and congratulations on y'all's continued success. And I want to know about the Jello girls.
Please tell us about your fight that's coming up in August.
Oh yeah. I forgot about that. August 19th, Biloxi, Mississippi. The streaming information will be up in a little bit. We got Connor Cole, 160-pound NABA WBA 10-round title fight. I have another possible fight at heavyweight. Plus Tito may defend his WBA belt on that show. We got 10 fights. Yeah, it's gonna be
and then on the water.
It's on the water. It's the only venue in the United States you can drive a 50-foot boat and watch the fight from your boat and have women bring you drinks. Even I might even have them serve Jello now since she mentioned the Jello stuff.
I gotta do a show from one of them boats. I need to be there on that pod. Yes, we got to do a show, Tati.
Yes,
on one of those boats.
I'm ready.
We'll make them haters real mad.
Oh, I love these haters.
We will do Jello shots from the boat if necessary. August 19th.
Definitely, that's a definite. I won't be there unless there's a Jello shot waiting.
That's awesome. I can't wait, but I'm serious about the Jello stuff. Keep me informed on that. The midgets, I'm good. We can do it.
We might do a recap, man. We might have to call you on a recap after all this action, man.
Yeah, not a problem. Maybe I'll catch a fish by then. And thank y'all.
No, we appreciate you as always.
All right, y'all have a good evening.
See you soon.
You too,
okay.
Now, I do have a question. How much of this do you think is for the money? Is set up? You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of fights, so to say, have money on losing, winning. I mean, everything.
Yeah, like these days. It depends on it. Basically, I mean, it's a lot of bets put in the week of the fight. Plus, people have been betting the last few weeks on, who the winner could be. I mean, but the main thing is that, if you're the fighter that most people are betting on, then you make more money if you choose to go and bet on the guy that less people are gravitating to. So if he possibly wins, you made more money because you risk more. Yeah. When you pick, when you put money on them. So that's the main thing. So right now we're seeing where Crawford is getting a boost in those betting odds right now. Whereas it's been being even in previous weeks. But since this is fight week, now we're starting to see more edges towards Bud. Yeah. And now we got our next guy up, and this is Danny Santiago. Danny, what's up? Boxing Playhouse Latin America host, Danny. Florida Boxing Hall of Famer.
Right there, Danny. That's
Wednesdays at 8 p.m. You can catch Danny with his co-host, ready to chop it up in Spanglish, I call it.
Hola.
Hola, hello, everyone. How you doing?
Danny.
What's going on? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
Yes, this is Tati. She's joining us tonight. She's from her podcast called Talk Yo Ish. So we are happy to have her tonight. She's learning some things about boxing. She asked us, previous, like, hey, can I come on? Like, so we can chop it up. And then tonight I needed her to come on. So
yes, I love when you need me.
Yes, I needed her to come on so we could chop it up. And she's just learning some, little facts about boxing so she can be like more engaged.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I was always engaged because when you're watching the guys and there's two guys with their shirt off, I was all for it.
Hello, that's what I keep telling other women. I'm like, you're missing all the good candy.
I've always been watching. I'm like, that's fine. I'm good. Get the popcorn and watch you guys beat the hell out of each other. My favorite, all sweaty and oiled up. I wanted to be an oil girl.
Oh, I've seen that before. But you got to be ready. Like you can't oil up a man's body and think that he's not going to be thinking certain things, right? Right, Danny? Especially as a boxer.
That's fine. Let's go.
Well, back in the day, yeah, now I keep my distance from all that stuff, I'm not a fighter anymore.
You better, because I like Sandra. Yeah, you better. Yeah, and happy belated anniversary too. I saw you just had that this week.
Happy anniversary.
Yeah, I took it to this place. They have like 4 waterfalls, and we spent a day there. We had a picnic up there. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, that is really nice. I saw that y'all were having a great time. The scenery was really nice.
Yeah, the water was crystal cold. I came out of it feeling rejuvenated, but she wanted to do something simple, so we live near these we live by mountains, and there's these like 4 or 5 waterfalls around there, and we hiked them all, and we got up to the top. We had a little picnic deal, and then we came back home.
Danny, what time is it over there in Colombia?
It is an hour behind you guys, so it's 7:53 here.
That's what Will Hunter said, didn't he?
Yes. Yeah, you're an hour back from us right now. Yeah. That's what
We don't change. The hour stays the same all year round.
Right.
You got Mississippi time?
He's on Columbia time. They don't change time. We change time, but Colombia doesn't change time.
Well, they voted on it, so hopefully this year they'll get rid of daylight saving.
Yeah,
there's no need for it anymore. Now, the whole Wall Street, everything is incident now. They don't need that daylight saving times anymore.
They really don't.
No, especially Florida. We have old people. You can't have old people riding around in the dark. Like that don't do that. And then to have the tourists, it cuts the tourist time in half. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, let's get rid of it. I think our governor one time signed a bill like saying, that he agrees that we should get rid of the time, but then it said that it needed to go to Congress up in DC to get approved first.
Yeah, it did, but because of COVID, they didn't want to make more changes to make people upset. So they were gonna prolong it to 2024.
What are they talking about? We was home and we couldn't go to work, so that's a perfect time to do it.
I don't know.
You couldn't go to school or work. That was like the perfect time to do it if they wanted to.
They make stuff up.
Yes,
they didn't want to do it, which I don't know why. We're not
predictions. What we're gonna do, Danny? Santiago as a former contender, as a former, top dog of the heat. We needs to know who you got.
You got, Danny. Who you got?
Oh, he froze. No,
He
froze. We finally got to listen. He wanted to stall. He didn't know who he wanted to pick yet.
Yeah, he's not just frozen. He's just holding it.
There he goes.
Yeah.
Of course.
He said you stalled because you didn't want to tell us who your pick was yet. You hadn't decided.
The suspense.
I'm back. I can hear you. I don't know what happened there. You want to know my pick?
All right.
Spence Crawford.
Who you got and how do they win?
Well, I'm going to get to my prediction, but I'm going to tell you what. You asked me who wins, right? I think the fans win. We've been waiting for this fight for a very long time. Being a former fighter, I'm just a fan now. I like to sit in front of TV and look at the younger guys, put their work in, right?
Me too.
Now, if you want to ask me who's going to win, all of my friends and everybody I talked to is going. I got some friends in Vegas. I spoke to Joe Cortez. You heard the predictions yesterday. A lot of my friends are going with Spence, right? But for me, I just think that Bud, his ability to fight excellent from both sides, and his boxing acumen, they're just about the same level when it comes to that. I think the experience as far as being on that big stage, for me, Bud has it. So I'm gonna go with Bud. I'm gonna go with Bud just because all those things I just mentioned, but also because all of my friends are going with Spence.
Wow. Okay, so if all your friends are going with Spence, you said?
Yeah, a few of my friends. I mean, when we had our show yesterday, everybody voted for Bud. That was cool. But everybody over here that I'm talking to, there's some people in Vegas that I'm friends with. I won't put their names out there. They like Spence. They think that he's a little bit bigger. I just think that even though he had a few fights after the car accident, this is the biggest stage he's been on. Yeah, he's with Al Heyman, he's with PBC and all those things, man. But if it wasn't for upsets, who would watch boxing, right? If it wasn't for the underdog, who would watch boxing? I'm going with Crawford. I want the guy that everybody says is not going to win. I want him to win just because of that, and just like what I said, I think his boxing from both sides, he can punch from both angles, from lefty and righty. I mean, that just adds a lot to it. Yeah, you know what? Spencer's a little bit bigger. He hits a little bit harder. I mean, hits hard as well. But I just think there's too much things to factor into that.
Danny, do you think it's going to be a decision, man? How you see it playing out?
Yeah, I was going to say a knockout, or what do you think?
I don't think, like the gentleman earlier, the promoter from earlier, I don't think that Bud could win a decision. I think that he has to at least knock him down convincingly. I'd rather, I mean, as a fan, listen, who goes to fights to watch a decision? I go there to see somebody get knocked the F out. You know what I mean? So, and I think they're both capable of knocking each other out. Right. It's just that I just like a little bit more of what Bud brings to the table. Even the press conference today between the coaches, right? I felt that Bud's coach won the press conference. It's just like everything was falling in place.
The same thing.
Oh my God, those coaches were going at it the way that the two fighters should have been going at it. Hype this fight up, my God.
Now I have a question. What is the ratio of Spence and the other guy, like knockout rate? Who's got the biggest like knockout rate? I don't know. That's
damn. Neither one of them really have like a great knockout rate.
Who had the last knockout? Like, which one had the last knockout?
Even
Bud got a stoppage in his last fight in December.
He stopped his last 6 fights. I think he stopped
them, but she said KO ratio, like knocking out. Yeah, like stopping somebody one thing, but
still gonna be considered a KO.
Yeah, I mean, true. TKO, they call it a TKO if it's like
cut.
Yeah, like they didn't actually get knocked all the way out,
But they were seeing stars.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's Bud Crawford, but Spence has been able to stop some of his opponents. Most of them have gone to decision, I believe, though, right?
No, they both got pretty high knockouts.
You think so? Like, we can just check it out real quick, because anytime you have a question.
Y'all got me all excited and into it now.
Maybe 5 or 6 of Bud's fights might have went the distance.
Yeah, we can check out the ratio.
Sakura, like
hello?
Sakura.
Yes.
You hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Go ahead, Dan.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, when I look at these guys, I look at both their camps. I look at what they bring to the table. I look at the cards are stacked against Bud for winning the decision. Where if look, Al Heyman is the man when it comes to certain things. PVC is in Vegas. Bud is the country boy. And all those things like that. He's a simple guy. I just like that approach that he comes with things, He's a no-nonsense guy. Both of them are like that, but I just think that, the way Bud goes about his craft, it's just a little bit, I think to me, he has just a little bit more of an edge.
Right. His record, Danny, is 39-0 with 30 KOs, Bud. So he stopped 30.
That's 30 a 90% ratio. Like that's a almost 90% ratio if you go by that.
That's nothing to blink at. And let's look at the common denominator who they fought. That Porter fight is a good measuring tool of how what their capabilities are. You know what I mean?
Right.
And Errol.Spence is 28-0 with 22 knockouts.
Look at that. I mean, they're both right there. On paper, to me,
There's the
on
KO
paper,
ratio.
to me,
78.5% is Spence's KO ratio, Tati.
Yeah.
And then all you had to do was go back one for Spence's. I could have seen.
Bud.
Yeah, for Buzz. I know. I don't know where you went that fast. Hold on a second. Oh, and we got Tim. He's waiting in the background. We see you, Tim. We got you. Hold on a second here. Right there.
All right, people. I'm gonna let them log in. Hey guys, I'm gonna let
76.9.
So Buzz a little bit higher.
Buzz is a little bit higher than Spence, but not by much.
76, 75.
Yeah, they're right there on paper. They're like, they're even. The only thing I said, like, I just look at the factor in the accident. I look at the way that Bud fights on both sides. He can knock you out from either angle, from either position, and I just think that he has that little bit of an advantage for me when it comes to that. I mean, look, the promoter, if it goes to decision, is a different situation, but you let your hands go. You take them out of the. You take the judges. You take the ref. You take the promoter out of that sequence. You know what I mean? So that's just what I'm going with. I'm gonna stick with it because everybody goes against them.
But guess what? This is the main fight that I look at. Sean Porter. When you look at Sean Porter's fight with both of these guys, now you have something to talk about 100. And compare. And also, Porter himself chose Crawford when asked directly about who he had as the winner. So,
and that dude knows.
Accident, didn't he?
Yes, he fought Spence right before the accident. Yes. But Spence, he had to deal with a different Porter too. So they both got their work in on that fight. So was Porter a little bit more lesser or thinner than he was before Spence's fight? Yes. I mean, because that was a rough fight. They were both like, they were going toe to toe in that fight. And I actually edged Porter out in that fight against Spence. But Spence is the money guy, and Spence had 2 belts already. And they really were looking forward to this Bud and versus Spence fight. So I think that kind of swayed favor with that Porter fight in Spence's, camp. Like, I feel like that helped him secure his win more so than anything else.
Danny, checking out the press conference, when you looked at both fighters, did anyone look more drained than the other? Like one of them had to make weight harder, or what you thought? Did you see anything?
You want to know something, man? I've been on that level, and unfortunately, when I was at that level, the times I given the opportunity, I wasn't really. I should have been a fighter that doesn't fight is not a fighter, and a professional is always be in shape. Those guys are professionals. They're the top of the line. They're the top of the food chain. I didn't see anything in particular as far as like either one of them being drained. I just seen Crawford a little bit more relaxed.
Okay. I got you.
Is he on pain? Is he on pain medication from the accident?
What did he say?
Crawford?
Say it again. We couldn't hear you.
I said when he had the accident, are they allowed to be on pain medication?
Yeah. As long as they don't have a fight coming up right then, yeah, they can be on pain medication.
Well, I'm just wondering if he was relaxed because he took.
I'm talking about Crawford.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, I said Crawford. When I looked at them, you try to pick up some tells and stuff like that. I didn't see them, either one of them. They didn't really look dehydrated to me. They weren't sipping on water the whole time, like trying to rehydrate and stuff. They look, both look kind of relaxed, but I seen that Spence was a little bit more edgy. I don't know if that's just, his coach is talking a lot of shit. So,
the fight started.
Danny, I was just going to ask you, man, do you think the coaches play a major role in this fight? The two coaches?
They both have a great resumes, both of them. They both know what they're doing. They didn't get there by chance. Crawford is who he is because of the people he has around him, and that the same thing could be said by Spence. A lot of times these coaches, and I've been a coach. People say I just became a coach. I've been a coach for 20 years. I just was focused more on my career, and you know, and I did what I had to do to survive at certain points in my life, right? But coaches nowadays, everybody's better. Everybody has a better technique. They walk different. They talk different. Look, man, just put your work in the gym. Like the fighters, shut the hell up and let your work do you know, speak for itself, right?
Right.
But talking about those two guys, and I'm, you know, I've studied them a little bit just since this whole Spence Crawford fight. They both know what they're doing. They both have a great idea. They got these kids and they're kids because I'm an old man already, but these kids, they got them to this point where they're at right now. And I'm just blessed and honored to be alive and live during this era when I could see these two gentlemen go to war.
Right, for sure. I mean, it's a special moment in time when we get to see like the best of a division really fighting each other in their prime, undisputed, both of them. So we're all very blessed as boxing fans to be able to live to see that happen, because we kind of got cheated a little bit with the Mayweather Pacquiao scenario, as they were already kind of like, you know, not in the prime of their careers.
Danny, do you feel like this is the best fight that could be made right now in boxing?
I mean, who else is out there?
Right.
Who else is out there that you want to see fight? You know, whatever. I mean, you got some really talented guys. You know, Boots, I think, is the future. You know, you have a couple guys out there, but a lot of these kids, you know, nowadays, when I was fighting, you know, and it wasn't that much long ago, but everybody's a social media star right now. So I just think that a little bit of that zest, and I'm not taking a shot at them. I mean, God bless them, right? But I'm not taking a shot at them. But the reality of it is, everybody's a superstar before they even earn the right to have that label, right? But I just think that Spence and Crawford, they earned the right to be where they're at. Be it as it may, oh, they should have fought here, they should have fought there. By no mistake, it happens when it needs to happen, right? So I just think that if they live up to the hype, we as fans will not be let down. The only other time I was really this excited, and it was before Michael went on vacation. I wanted to see Mike fight Lennox Lewis. I wanted to see Mike fight, and then he went on vacation in Holyfield. He went on vacation, and to me, it took away from that, because when he came out, he wasn't the same animal, right? But these guys, to me, outside of the accident, it's prime time. It's prime time.
Right.
The best of the best. Well, Danny, before you actually chime out, we do want to just have you stick around so you can get introduced to our amazing friend and our manager, our publicist, our main support system. And he's going to be at the actual fights this weekend, maybe with EMELIO. So we're going to have to see Tim, our brand ambassador.
Hello. How's it going?
Awesome.
We ain't seen you since the dinner, Tim. That's the last time we saw you, when we had that Italian dinner.
That was a lovely. That was a lovely time. That was the Tank. That was the Tank Ryan fight, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But, I'm just packing for Vegas. I'm really excited and thrilled to be going to the fight. And I just think that you've got two supremely talented young men, absolutely prime of their careers, and each of them have got like God-given different gifts. You know, when you look at what Spence can do to a man, the way he can break a man down, you know, with a hammer of a jab, and then you look at Crawford, you know, he throws from such incredible angles with speed, with like absolute viciousness. I don't think there's many people better when they smell blood as Terence, you know, and I think like I have Crawford winning the fight in the late rounds, because I think he's got the boxing IQ to get around the Spence jab and find the angles that he needs to find to slow Spence down. And when he slows Spence down the way that he slowed Porter down, Terence goes to work. And you've all said exactly the same thing. You've said the Porter fight is the measuring stick. And again, you know, I'm a huge boxing fan. I was at that fight, and I thought Porter was winning the fight until the knockdown. I thought he really gave Spence gave him fit, and Terence dealt with him so easily. Different animals, you know, but I that's no demeaning Spence. The same as it's no demeaning Stephen Fulton. What happened to him the other night? He went out. He fought a guy that is special, and he
Right.
got beaten by a special guy. But he went to the other guy's country,
Yes,
and he took on the challenge, and he there's no shame in that fight. What the thing for Stephen Fulton now is, how does he come back from that? If he comes back from that and starts winning fights and impressing people again, then we know we've got a true great on our hands. Or you know, if he does what Rigondeaux did after losing to Nonito and just fall off, you know, different. And we're going to see this weekend. You've got two guys who don't know what it means to lose, and like one of them, just like Ryan and Tank, one of they've both gone through their lives believing they were destined to never lose. You know, so when you have to process the fact that you know this ride that you've been on isn't full of invincibility, the true champions are the ones that realize that doesn't matter. That's part of the journey. That's what and the defeats, they're just lessons. You know, if you take a defeat, you can look at the tape, you can study it, and you can work out how to come back a better person, whether you're playing sport, whether you're doing business. You know, every defeat is a lesson.
Well, when you have a good coach, that's what they're supposed to do. I mean,
absolutely. But it's down to the fighter. A coach can only do so much. It's either in you or it isn't.
Yeah.
You know, you're either a dog or you're not a dog. And you know, that's what
and a coach, that's why they're a coach. They are supposed to see that in you. I mean, you know, I don't know if they're like dance moms, but they
no, but you look at like what happened to Nassim Hamed, right? He was beating everybody. He was showing off. He was coming in on the throne. Barrera took his soul.
Yeah.
He only fought one more time. He was finished because of one defeat. And that's a guy whose whole career was based on showbiz.
Well, it was the ego. Yeah, ego. His ego.
Absolutely. And
you know, if I could chime in, I'm sorry, if I could chime in, and me as a coach right now, I moved to this country and I've been noticing a lot of guys at these fights, and it's a little bit disgusting because guys are so afraid to lose that O that they're not willing to fight anybody. And they fight, you know, guys that like, who's going to pay these kids to fight anybody if you're not willing to fight somebody and put it on the line? You know, that's why I commend these guys. At any point, it's not too late. Floyd Mayweather and Pacquiao, to me, was too late. It was far gone, right? But I think right now is a perfect time. They're putting their zero on the line, you know, and you got to commend one. They're both winners in my name, in my book.
100%.
You know? And these guys nowadays, I'm sorry, and I have to say this, I'll say it out loud, man. I got into the ring, I got my butt kicked 7 times, and I beat 34 guys, right? But I'll never diminish those guys. I'll never diminish those guys and what they did. They showed up that day and they beat me. They beat the best version that I had to offer that day. But I showed up. These guys are afraid to show up, afraid to take fights, undefeated. What's an undefeated record when you're not fighting anybody? And I commend these guys for doing it.
100%.
Yeah, that's what happened with Fulton. He at least attempted. He went for it.
And
he
Garcia
took the risk.
And Garcia. Garcia fought a beast. You know, all these fighters, like, you can't blame them, right? They're following a blueprint that the greatest fighter of their generation set, which was Floyd. And Floyd's whole career was based on an O. So obviously, a lot of unimaginative promoters will want you to trade on exactly the same sort of route that Floyd could take. But that wasn't just it with Floyd. People will always forget what he was doing to people on the way up.
Right.
He wasn't money. He was Pretty Boy. He was a different fighter. And all these fighters, again, the opportunity now is for, if this fight's amazing, they can do it 2 times, 3 times, 4 times. And it's history, you know, and it's legacy. Mm-hmm. And they make the money they deserve.
Right.
You know, so it doesn't matter. Like, if you look at Marquez and Pacquiao, they took plenty of defeats, but they are stone cold legends. Like, we will never forget those boys for what they gave us.
Absolutely.
Well, you know, I think.
I'm sorry. Look at Mickey Ward. Look at Arturo Gatti. Their fights. I mean, I was watching a fight the other day with Diego Corrales. You know, the guy was. I mean, to me, that fight should have been stopped when he got knocked down. And the dude came back up, and did what he had to do. These guys weren't afraid of, I'm sorry to say, we're an adult show, of getting their asses kicked, because that's what you got to do. You got to go in there and be willing to get it as well as willing to give it.
Right.
100.
I mean, Andre Ward has admitted that he was a terrible loser. Like, he just had that. He said he didn't like it, not one bit. And after he experienced, he said he would do anything to make sure that feeling, he didn't have to feel it again. I mean,
show me a great athlete who's a good loser. Show me a great athlete who's a good loser.
But they
it's impossible.
Yeah.
But they work hard. But they work hard.
They're different people. They're totally different people. Their whole lives are conditioned to winning, and everything about that. You know, even if they're like having a race with their kids, you know, they have to win because it's innate, and they have to be like that because they are that their whole lives depend on that when they walk into the ring. So every bit of focus that it takes. We all know boxing is the hardest sport in the world. We all know that. We all agree with that. We all know what it takes for these guys to get down to weight, go in a ring, knowing that they could get their asses kicked by somebody who's possibly one of the best fighters of all time. But they're going in, both of them, to do that. Boxing's incredible. Incredible. And this weekend, you know, I'm definitely going to send you guys some videos. All really, really excited about it. I think that we've got potentially one of the great all-time fights that we'll talk about for years. And if you think about it, even now, Triple G and Canelo fights, they feel like legacy fights now. They feel like legendary fights. And, you know, it takes time after a fight for you to know how important it really was. So we won't know for a moment, right, how much it really mattered. But
yeah. I thank you so much for being our brand ambassador out there and getting us the footage that we need this weekend for the fans to be able to see, you know. But I'm looking forward, Tim, to when you actually are in front of the T-Mobile and you go through your little breakdown. I don't know if you have anything planned or not yet, but I love that.
I'll have it all in my. I'll work it out in my brain on the long drive over tomorrow. I'm very, very excited, but I'm going to go back to packing now. It's really nice to meet you all, and I loved listening to what you guys were saying. Absolutely amazing.
All right, thanks, Tim. We'll see you this weekend.
Definitely.
All right, take care. Yeah, what a wonderful guy. He's, you know, of course you can hear he's a Brit, but he's also a Los Angeles for many years now, and he's just an amazing guy. That likes to support us whenever he can. And he doesn't miss any of the big fights. Like he makes sure he drives from LA to Vegas for these fights, and, you know, kind of makes it a weekend type thing.
It's in LA, he right there.
Oh yeah, and if it's in LA, he's there. But Tati, I want to go back to what Tati was saying, because sometimes, you know, you were saying that when they do have a loss, then they work harder. That's true if they're a real fighter at heart, right?
Because even me, if someone tells me no, or I feel like I lost, or I didn't get my word across, I just go harder. Like, don't tell me no. If you don't want me to do something, don't say no. Just say yes and let me win. But otherwise than that, I don't know. That's how it's supposed to be. And I was saying, a lot of these fighters don't want to fight and lose, but I think it's the era of these people with millennials, whatever they call them, where they think that everybody should get a trophy and everybody should win, and there's no winning and losing, or everybody should everybody is, you know, I don't know what they do, but my mom, I grew up with a dance mom. My mom would take you in the back. She was the coach. You lose, guess what? You better not lose. So, you know,
wow.
You better not lose. Still to this day, you better not lose. She don't play none of that handicap stuff. That don't matter to her. But it's just it's a win or lose thing, and you have to go in. If you're good and you believe in yourself and you're good, you're gonna do it. But you're gonna do it to the best. You may lose, but you're losing at your best, like you said. And I mean, I don't know. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see two people get a trophy and make it a call and knock someone out so I can see the difference. And you're either good or you're not. That's it. Period. You know how many, I'll just say So I've had 2 TKOs, and let me tell you, I don't want to do it again because I don't want to lose, but I will do it again because I know that, you know what I'm saying? Like it has to be done. There has to be a winner. You have to prove how good you are, period. Either you good or you get the hell out of the ring. That's it.
That's what these guys are trying to do. They're trying to prove that they're the best at their division. After years at this division, they want to prove like, hey, I'm the king of this welterweight division.
But so, you gotta do it by well, I don't want to say by losing, but you gotta do it. You gotta fight for that spot. And there is no, well, I'm just gonna go up this ladder and tap you. And no, that's not this game. That go play softball, you know, like, no, we're not doing
well, Danny, he was the type of boxer where he was like, oh, you're gonna have to prove to me that I don't belong here, like, or that I'm not the winner, because he, you know, even if he's supposed to be, you know, the underdog, he still like made those weights and got in there with these, you know, sometimes beast of people that, you know, later we found out some things about some of his opponents, but yeah, I don't want to get into that tonight.
You want to know something? I won't take nothing away from them. You know, my philosophy with my kids is if you're a professional fighter, be professional and be in shape. It wasn't my trainer's fault or anybody else's fault that I got too comfortable, because a boxer that sleeps in silk drawers is not a hungry fighter. And I got a little too comfortable, right? So I would let myself balloon out of weight. But I'm going to tell you, there was never one fight that I didn't think I could win. I always thought I could win. I took a fight, and I won't mention the guy's name because we all know him and you guys live near him. But I took a fight with like 12 days notice. I took a fight with 12 days notice. And when I went in there, I believed I could beat him. There was no doubt in my mind I could beat him. I mean, he got me. Mm-hmm. But if I wouldn't have showed up, I already lost. So I showed up. If I didn't show up, I wouldn't have got that paycheck. So I would have really lost, you know? So the reality of the situation is I put on my man pants on, I tied my laces up, and I went in to do what I had to do. He caught me before I caught him, and I give him kudos. I would never disrespect him like that, because we're like, oh, I took a fight on short notice. Shit, you should always be in shape. So when that phone rings, it won't be short notice, you know? So, you know, I mean, look, just the other day we have an associate named Ray Sosa. He posted a picture of me. You know, I'm getting a little bit good shape for health. I'm not trying to fight nobody unless they have a bunch of zeros behind some numbers, you know. But you know, he's like, Danny, you know, needs to come out of retirement and all that. Listen, nowadays the way these kids are fighting, man, they're just afraid of losing. And I never like losing. I want to win at tic-tac-toe. I want to win at every argument. I want to win at everything. But
wait a minute. So they're not afraid of actually getting hurt. It's just the loss.
Losing.
They don't want the L on their back.
Sore loser.
I think it's both. I think they're afraid of losing and they're afraid of an ass whipping. Because let me tell you something. When I was a kid and I lived in the South Bronx and I came home crying to my mother because I got my butt kicked, my mom hit me, smacked me in my head or whatever, gave me a stick and said, go down and get your respect. Yeah. You know, and if I didn't go get my respect, my mom beat my ass. You know, nowadays kids are afraid to get their ass kicked.
Yeah, because they coddled them, no spankings, none of that. Like, if you didn't
well, hold on just a minute now. Hold on now. I was a little coddled. I mean, I was told, like, don't pay them no mind. They're just jealous.
Listen, I wasn't.
Like, as long as they don't put their hands on you, you know,
listen,
just walk away.
I experienced a lot of racism. I've experienced a lot of different things in my life from people in my own culture. So I'm gonna tell you straight up how it is, man. I wasn't in that timeout. The only timeout was my mother taking a breather for beating my ass. You know what I mean? That's keeping it real. And I'm not condoning.
Which culture is that? Which culture are you talking about? Black or Puerto Rican or Jamaican?
I don't want to get into all that, you know. But I'm gonna tell you this right now. You know, the reality of the situation is that growing up, you know, and every generation is different. It's just you know, in general, kids are afraid of losing. They have 7th place prizes. Like, what is that?
Yeah,
you know?
7th place. It's 1, 2, and 3, right? And
really, that's it.
A winner. Just like I said earlier, all this, everybody gets a trophy. No, there's no places. Everybody's a winner. No, it's whoever gets there first. That's it. Like, why are we playing a sport if we can't see who's the best? Why are we telling seventh place winner?
100%. It's like Ricky Bobby says in Talladega Nights. Second place is the first loser.
Absolutely. I don't want to
Wow.
Don't
That's what I'm saying. I mean, it is a second place loser, but at the same time, I feel like when it comes to Spence versus Crawford, they both literally, truly, wholeheartedly believe that they are the best. So it's kind of hard, you know, to go in that ring, like, and you know that you feel like you're the best. If somebody in that, your opponent tells you or shows you rather that you're not, I want to know how that's going to affect each of these guys. Like, I'm just wondering if that's going to like really mentally do something to one of them, being that they're so confident.
Everything is different. Look, I went 22-0 before I lost my fight, my first fight. I lost in PR, Puerto Rico. I lost to a fellow Florida Hall of Famer, Rocky Torres. I took him for granted. I took him lightly. I thought I could walk right through him. And, you know, he walked me down. He did the rope-a-dope and got me, right? It took me damn near 2 years to recover from that mentally. I was so broken down that I didn't recover from that forever. Like, it took me forever. I mean, it was a lot going on because when you're winning, everybody loves you. And when you lose, you're a loser, right? But in thinking about those things, like, I look back at those things, I don't regret a damn thing that I did because it made me the man that I am today. I commend Crawford. I commend Spence for taking this shot, man, putting it on the line. This is what legends are made of. That's why they say Muhammad Ali is the greatest, because he fought everybody. That's why, you know, I got the opportunity to meet Sugar Ray Leonard. I was on the Contender with him. That guy was trying to outwork us out at his age. He was jumping rope better than anybody else there because he wanted to be the best. You know what I mean? And you know, I only met Floyd one time. I don't know him. I can't pick up the phone, and if he see me walking down the street, I'm just anybody else because I don't know him. But the time that I seen him, he wants to be the best. You could talk all the smack you want about him, but he wants to be the best. It doesn't matter what he is. He wants to be different. And you say he fought this guy in a late time. Listen, he fought more Hall of Famers than anybody else I know. And I'm not being an advocate for Floyd Mayweather. I commend Bud Crawford and Spence. I cannot wait. I'm chomping at the bit to see the fight.
Well, you know what? We've all had a great night talking about these different predictions and the state of boxing as far as other boxers. But this year, we've actually seen more competitive fights and a few of the elite fighters stepping up and being like, yeah, I want the smoke. I'm going to fight and we're going to see who's the best. So I'm hoping that that's a new trend in our culture for boxing, that they get out of this, what to my lips, to God's ears, that we start seeing more of these matchups actually happen. In a few months, September 30th, actually, we got Canelo versus Jermell Charlo, one of the twins out of Houston, Texas, going at it. And that's a situation where you would never think that 154-pounder is like, yeah, I want Canelo at 168 pounds. So, I mean, that's another situation where somebody's daring to be great. So we have to remember
a true fighter. I think that's a true fighter.
Yeah, and we got to reward these people when they want to do that. So I'm hoping everybody wants to pay for their actual pay-per-view this weekend and not go in the closet with their live fire stick if they don't have to, and actually pay for the better fight. Like, because that sends a message more than anything. When them dollars come in and it say, hey, that's a good matchup. They paid for this one and nobody complained. Now you know, like, that's the trajectory that we want promoters and managers and boxing coaches and teams to start going towards.
Yeah. Well, I have one thing to say. I don't have to pay-per-view it because it's included in my cable package here in Colombia. So I'm okay.
I like
We'll give you a pass. I plead the fifth. Listen, what's the name of that Colombian package?
Yeah, we don't get that here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like paying for pay-per-views, trust me. But when it's something like this and they actually got the matchups right, and we get Nonito Donaire as the co-main event, and
Hey,
Eastside Cruz, I'm good.
Sakura, I fought in the show. I fought in the show in Connecticut, and Nonito that was on the same show. We're talking, I don't know, 2004, whenever it was. It's like this dude doesn't get old.
He a cool dude too.
Yeah.
He real cool, Danny, ain't he?
You know what? I met him briefly. Like I said, I don't like to drop names because a lot of people, I just don't know them. I met them. I don't know them.
Right.
But the time that I saw him, he was very, soft-spoken to the side. And he beat the hell out of somebody that day. And it's like every other day I see him, like, this dude does not age. I don't know what it is, man. It's like I see him, he's like still the little guy that I remember back then.
Yeah, it's that Filipino bloodline that they don't age, right, Emilio?
Him and Pacquiao.
Yeah, because he's part Filipino too, and we all know he got the fountain of youth.
Hold on, I got my granddaughter here, so yeah.
Hey, granddaughter.
She's so cute.
Oh, beautiful.
I gotta go.
Let her tell us her line that she learned.
If you don't watch the fight, you're gonna get knuckle sandwich. Gotta tell him. Gotta tell him.
If you don't watch the fight, you're gonna get a knuckle sandwich when you
Watch that fight.
That's like she said, if you don't subscribe to the channel, you're gonna get a knuckle sandwich.
That.
I'd like to hire her. I'd like to hire her.
Yeah,
I know, right? She's supposed to give me a video. I'm waiting for her acting.
I need some reads. Yeah, we're gonna need some of that.
I gotta go do my granddaddy dudes. All right,
Danny.
All right, Danny, we appreciate you coming on tonight. Thank you.
All right, guys.
All right, Danny.
Okay, Tati, we had a great time with you tonight. And oh my God, I hope you learned a little bit more about boxing. And knowing you probably will put some money on somebody. Like you just focusing in that betting part.
I said it was Spence. I told you, I am. Look, I mean, I know too much, but you said it. I know numbers, so.
Sherman pick.
Right. Sherman, tell us who you got. Let's see what he's saying here.
Sherman said Danny was
a hell of a fighter. Now he's saying, I didn't start a fight, but I could finish it.
Who said it?
Sherman.
I'm with you on that, Sherman.
It says, if it is a very good fight, neither one will feel bad about it. That's true. Like you do feel better when it's competitive, and you don't, Ian, Schoolboy, what's up, my friend?
Life grinding.
Yeah, he's grinding. Thank you so much, Schoolboy. I like that song that you sent Emilio the other night, man. We got to get you on here for a follow-up. I think Emilio's gonna do a cameo on one of them songs because I like that. I like that last one. I forget the name you sent them. But Tati, it's been forever, ever and ever. I hope we're longtime friends. I hope you come back on the show. We definitely invite you to join us again on another Boxing Playhouse After Dark. Our fans, Ladies Night probably will be the next time that we can have you on. So we just want to say subscribe. Or you'll get a knuckle sandwich.
I love that. Thank you guys. Tokyo Itch Podcast. That's Tokyo ISHH. So happy. It gave me a reason to put on makeup and look pretty and just get ready. I was doing nothing.
Absolutely. We appreciate it. And you were so much fun tonight. And also, I just want to say that you look gorgeous with that blonde straight hair. Because I think last time we saw her, she had curly hair.
I had the gray, like curl.
Yeah.
I was actually in my closet like, well, which one did I have on? I had to go back and look at her photos. I was like, I don't want to
This is what I'm wearing, doing this particular month.
They say blondes have more fun, Toddy. Is that true?
It is, and you can't move in your wardrobe or you have a malfunction. I didn't want to malfunction, you guys, today. So I can't move too much.
Well, I mean, it looked great. It was amazing tonight. Yeah,
I know you can't see my kitty ears. I have these kitty ears.
I didn't see them. Oh, that is cute.
I have a background on, but yeah, my little kitty ears, and I was like,
oh wow, they really hit them great. All right.
Like the
I've
snack-
got to get some food in
I
my
like the
stomach.
I know. Oh, you like? Thank you. Oh, in the club. Yeah.
Yeah, the club.
If I don't
yeah,
move.
It looks like a party bus to me.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, to me it looks like a party bus. You know how they have the lights up?
Oh, yeah.
They
You're
go
right.
back and
Huh.
well,
Well,
they have the little pole in the back too.
yes, there's probably a well, I was gonna put a boxing one, but then in my outfit, I was like, doesn't go with it. I should have wore like a tank top. I'll get better. I'll get better.
Oh, okay, no problem. I think they like the way you looked, and they like the questions that you gave all of our special guest experts. And also, you can find you where on all your social media.
Yep. You can find Tokyo-ish. That's Tokyo ISHH on all streaming platforms. I'm on 88.9 The Mix 5 days a week with DJ H Vidal. I'm everywhere. YouTube, what is that? TikTok, Snapchat, OnlyFans, everywhere you guys want to see me, I'm there.
That's right. She did say she got her OnlyFans, guys.
All right.
Go search her out. Okay.
So later I'll have a wardrobe malfunction. That's where that.
They can only wish. They can only wish.
Or
and Sherman says Crawford. He's going for Crawford.
Oh no, Spence.
Yeah. So it's either Spence with the dimples or Crawford with that mean green, angry machine called a killer instinct. Let's see who comes out on top. Thanks so much, guys, for joining us tonight. Make sure you subscribe and do all the likes and different things that you like to do. And let us know, just because the feed stops doesn't mean you can't add who you got. Thanks, and we'll see you next week on Boxing Playhouse After Dark in Latin America.